There are wounds that don't bleed, but hurt more than anything else. And sometimes the truth doesn't scream. It just sits quietly inside your chest until one day you can't breathe anymore. My name is Anna. I'm 35 years old. I've been married for 9 years. I never believed my marriage was perfect, but I thought it was safe. My husband, Michael, is a quiet man. He goes to work, comes home on time, helps with our daughter. He doesn't yell, doesn't drink, and he had never given me a reason not to trust him. At least, that's what I believed. We have a daughter named Lily. She's 7. Bright eyes, soft hands, and the kind of laugh that makes you forget your pain for a while. Lily was the only light during the days I felt myself fading away. It started quietly. I couldn't sleep. I felt tired all the time. My thoughts were heavy. I lost interest in everything. I quit my job. I stayed at home, and slowly I stopped looking in the mirror. I felt like a shadow in my own house. Michael didn't really notice. Or maybe he did, but he didn't know what to say. We talked less. We touched less. We became polite strangers, sharing the same roof. One night, after another long silence at dinner, he said gently, "Maybe you should talk to someone." He didn't mean him. He meant a therapist. At first, I hesitated, but I knew I needed help. I was drowning in something I couldn't name. That's how I met Dr. Claire Bennett. She was warm, calm. Her office smelled like lavender and old books. Her voice was soft, and her eyes were kind. In the beginning, I cried a lot. I told her things I had never told anyone about the sadness, the emptiness, the fear that I was no longer someone worth loving. And she listened. Every week, I sat in that room and poured pieces of my soul into her hands. She never judged, just nodded, smiled gently, and asked questions that made me go deeper. I trusted her. She became the person who held me up when I couldn't stand on my own. Meanwhile, things at home were quiet. Michael was always busy, always tired. He worked late more often. Sometimes he came home smelling like a different kind of soap. But I didn't ask. I didn't want to ruin the little piece I had left. Until one evening, I arrived at my appointment early. The clinic was empty. The receptionist wasn't at the front desk. I walked down the hallway toward Dr. Bennett's office, planning to wait outside. That's when I heard it, a laugh, a voice I knew too well. Michael's. I froze. I stepped closer, and through the half-closed door I saw him, Michael, sitting on the couch, smiling, talking, and opposite him Dr. Bennett, also smiling, also relaxed, too relaxed. I couldn't move. My heart slammed against my chest. I felt cold all over. After a few seconds, I walked away silently. I waited in the car until he came out 30 minutes later without noticing me. He didn't see me crying behind the steering wheel. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, I asked him, "Have you ever met Dr. Bennett before?" He blinked, then shook his head. "No, why?" I didn't answer. I just looked at him. And in that moment, I knew he was lying. The next few days felt unreal. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, I went back to Dr. Bennett's office. I sat in the same chair, stared at the same plant in the corner, and asked her directly, "How long have you known my husband?" She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Anna, I never meant to hurt you. That was enough." I stood up and left. She never followed. I can't describe how betrayal feels when it comes from two people you trusted the most. It's not just heartbreak. It's confusion. You don't even know where to put the pain. Dr. Bennett wasn't just my therapist. She was my safe place. And Michael, he was my family. Now, I don't know what they were to each other or when it began. Maybe during one of our early sessions. Maybe before. Maybe I'll never know the full story. What I do know is this: sometimes life doesn't give you loud warnings. It gives you quiet moments that feel just wrong. And if you ignore them, they grow roots inside your heart. I moved out a week later with Lily. Michael said sorry many times, but not for what he did, only for hurting me. Claire never contacted me again. And honestly, I'm glad. Some days I still feel the pain, but it's a different kind of pain now. Not sharp, not fresh, just something old that hums in the background. But you know what? I've learned something beautiful. Even when the people you trust the most break you, you can still rebuild yourself. I'm not the same woman I was before. I'm stronger, quieter, but stronger. Because trust, once broken, teaches you one thing very clearly. Never give away all your light to people